Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. So today is Monday, September 22nd and I am 20% into Once a Villain. I always forget the title of that book, I don't know why. Once a Villain, which is the third and final book in the Monsters series, which is fantasy, and I definitely want to finish it this week. And another book that I want to read this week, and when I say I wanna, I mean I sort of should slash have to, because it's like for my video for this weekend. So I should finish it. I mean start it and finish it, just read it. And that is The Art of Prophecy, which is the first book in a series that I don't remember the name of, but that is also fantasy. It's called War Arts, so it's the first book in the War Arts series, which has 3 books. So yeah, I want to read that book, The Art of Prophecy. I want to finish Once a Villain, and I don't really know what else. That is all fantasy. Like maybe I will want to read something other than fantasy, but like I am actually in a very big fantasy mood, so maybe I won't want to read anything other than fantasy. I don't know, honestly. I don't know, honestly. Like we'll see when I finish, reading the books that I either am in the middle of or like should start reading. I will see what I want to read afterwards, but maybe it will actually be fantasy because I just feel like reading fantasy. And yeah, so those 2 books are the actual plan. I don't know, like in terms of anything else. And I mean, they're both quite long. I mean, I don't know how long Once a Villain is, but The Art of Prophecy is like quite long. So, I mean, those 2 books will probably take me a while. And yeah, other than that, I have no idea. And yeah, this week, I don't really have any plans. Like last week, I had plans during the week. I had plans during the weekend. This week, I have no plans. I just know that I will go back to my parents' house during the weekend because last weekend I stayed here. This weekend, I'm going there. And yeah, that's it. That is everything. I had my last biobank shift of the month today, which was great. Actually, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was chaotic. It was way more work than I expected. So it actually was terrible. It was not great. It was terrible. But it's great that it was the last for at least a week and a half. So, that's positive. And yeah, I don't think I have like anything else to say in this intro. And yeah, also like I was at the cell culture from like 11 to 1-ish because I had to like prepare myself for a bunch of experiments, treatments, whatever. And now I have 55 flasks and 2 plates. So that is a lot. I'm taking up like almost the entire incubator is like with my things. So, that sucks for me and for everyone who needs space. And yeah, so I was there from, like, I wanted to go earlier, obviously, because I didn't want to be there during lunchtime. But there was, like, someone doing maintenance, like, there. So, I had to wait until they were gone. And yeah, I could only start at 11, which sucked. But also, I could only be there, like, in the morning-ish, because then in the afternoon I had to be at the biobank, and then like I need to do it on a Monday necessarily because I need like the 5 days for the experiments. So that was literally the only time I could do it. But yeah, like that itself just destroyed me because like I like working with the cells, but I like it if I'm there for like 1 hour. When I stay there for over that, when I stay there for 2 hours or longer, I like it kills me because it's just like a closed off room, and I don't know, it's kind of like a depressing room. So like if I stay there for too long, it just kills me. And also like it was a lot of work, so yeah, I was dead. And then the biobank absolutely completely destroyed me. Like the little energy that I had left, absolutely gone. So yeah, I'm tired. I'm very tired. But yeah, I think that is all, especially because that has nothing to do with anything. So yeah, welcome to the vlog. So it is Wednesday, and I actually have read way more than I had expected to have read by this point, because I've read a whole like 500, more than 500-page book, and I am halfway through Once a Villain, which is also around 500 pages. So, I'm making progress, and I guess we can start with this. So this is the third and last book in the Monsters series, which is fantasy. And like this one, I had started, I think on Sunday. So like I had already started it when this week started. And so this follows Joan, and she, at the start of the series, is either 16 or 17. She is working at her summer job, a job that she loves, and where she works with a boy that she has a crush on. But then she learns that like one side of her family, like they're monsters, so she's half monster, half human, and the boy that she has a crush on is a very famous monster hunter. So she, has to protect her family from him, and the story then gets like much bigger than that, because like the whole world really is kind of at stake. And in the second book, like crazy things happen, and so like at the end of the second book, our characters and basically like the whole world are in a lot of danger, in a lot of trouble. And so obviously this book starts, after that whole chaos, and our characters are certainly struggling. The world itself is struggling, and they have a plan. At the point that I'm at, they have, a very solid plan of what they want to do and how they want to do it. Not sure if they will succeed, because I'm only halfway through and they have this whole plan sort of figured out, although they don't think, or they think they might not have, enough time to put their plan in practice. But yeah, I'm definitely invested. I am definitely excited, and I'm definitely having a good time. And yeah, I do really like most of these characters, so I'm nervous, I'm excited, I am definitely really liking it. And yeah, I think the second half is gonna be also like kind of insane with a lot of action. And I'm definitely very excited. And so for the other book that I read, that was The Art of Prophecy, which is the first book in the, I think, War Arts series, which I think is also a trilogy. And I'm reading that for like another video, and that is, I don't know if I said already, I'm very tired. And it is also fantasy. And so in that world, there was a prophecy that said that like there would be a hero born, a hero to basically defeat that nation's like big enemy that is sort of like a god from like another nation. And so that hero is born, and he's a boy called Jan, and he is, taken and like raised as the hero. And now a like a very renowned warrior called Taishi, she goes to basically examine Jan, and she learns that he doesn't really have like what it takes to be that hero. Like he wasn't really trained properly. He was just like, he's just a spoiled boy. Like no one ever really trained him as they should. Like every time he's like sparring with someone, people just let him win. So like he thinks that he's good, he thinks that he can actually like beat everyone, but he can't, and he's just like very spoiled, and he is not, strong enough, not trained enough. So she decides to take the training into her own hands. But then like a bunch of things happen. The prophecy itself like had some things that were not entirely correct, and so they have to like leave the place that they're at. And we also follow Salminda, who is from like the other nation that had like that enemy that Jan like is prophesized to defeat. And she is also like on her own quest that is also like pretty interesting. And I really liked all of the characters. Even Jan, like he really grew on me like faster than I expected. And like Taishi, an absolute icon from the first moment she appeared. And I also do really like Salminda, although like, when you're having characters that are like on different sides of sort of like, it's not really like an all-out war, but they definitely are like, on opposite sides of sort of a conflict. They are enemies. And so when you have like all these characters that kind of hate each other, kind of want to kill each other, is, you know, kind of hard. So like, you know, if I had to choose sides, I would choose like John and Taishi, but I also do really like Salminda. So yeah, that's complicated. So yeah, we follow them through, you know, a bunch of troubles. We see them go through also like a lot of places. So we see a lot of this world. We learn a lot about the world, about the prophecies, about like their religions, and also like about the characters as well. There are a lot of cool action scenes. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was definitely very invested, like especially like in the beginning I was absolutely hooked. Then there was like from like the 30 to 50% mark, maybe I was a little less invested, but in the second half I was, you know, invested once again. I really liked it, and I definitely wanna, you know, keep reading this series. Another series added to my list, so that's fantastic. So yeah, I definitely want to keep reading the series. I am invested. I am connected to these characters. I'm really liking the world and the, like I said, prophecies and all of that. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. And yeah, that is what I've read. Like I said, way more than I expected, because that book was, I think, around 530 pages. And then I probably read like a bit over 100 of Once a Villain. So, you know, over 600 pages in 3 days is definitely a lot for me. That is definitely not how much I usually read. I've just been, I guess, in a reading mood, which is great. I'm certainly not complaining. It's great. It's just not, you know, it doesn't happen every week. Let's just say like that. And yeah, today I got some books which I didn't bring here beforehand, but I'm gonna go get them. Cause like they were supposed to be delivered yesterday, but literally like the only time I got out of my room, like at work, without my phone, like when they called. So obviously I didn't answer it, and I thought they were gonna like try to deliver them again today. But then yesterday at like maybe 7 p.m. or something, I got a text saying that they had like left it at the post office. So today I had to leave work a bit early to go to the post office to get my books, but I did get my books, which is all that matters. And so the first book is Among the Burning Flowers, which is a prequel, but I think it's like the first prequel, because there are 2 prequels of the, honestly I don't know what the series is called, but like the, you know, main book is The Priory of the Orange Tree, and then there was 1 prequel, but I think this prequel is like before that prequel. I think it's like way shorter, because like both The Priory of the Orange Tree and then the other prequel that I currently don't remember the title of, they're really, really thick. They're like 700 pages each, around that. And this one is like 200 and something, 252. So, you know, a lot shorter, is like 1/3 of those books. And I've seen that it has like some very beautiful illustrations. Like, look at this. Oh, you know, gorgeous. And there was another one here at the beginning, like, hello, absolutely gorgeous. And so yeah, I definitely want to read this soon. And yeah, it's, you know, very big because it was just released, I think, last week, and it doesn't match The Priory of the Orange Tree because I got that one like, you know, sometime after it was published. So I got like the regular sized version, but then, you know, that other prequel I also got pretty soon after it was published, so it's, you know, massive like this one. And like the font in this book is gigantic, and like the margins ridiculously big, but you know, I am excited nonetheless to read this. And then I got the last 3 books in the First Law world, so like the last trilogy, because from the books that I owned, I only have Sharp Ends to read, like before I get to these. And Sharp Ends is, I think, a short story collection. And so, you know, after I read that, and I do plan to read that soon-ish, I wouldn't have the next books, and I obviously need to have the next books with me. And so yeah, I got the 3 of them. I think this is the order they're supposed to be in. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm sure that A Little Hatred is the first one. The other 2, I'm not sure if they're in the correct order, but yeah, we got A Little Hatred, we got The Trouble with Peace, and we got The Wisdom of crowds. And yeah, they're also very beautiful. I really like all of the, like, I'm obviously excited to, read all of them for, like, the story, the plots, but I also think they're all very beautiful. So, that certainly helps. I do judge books by their covers. I think we all do. So yeah, I'm very, very excited, very happy to have these books. And yeah, that is, I think, everything that I had to tell you. And yeah, tomorrow I have to go to work a bit earlier because there's like an event that I'm supposed to go to, and it definitely starts earlier than like my usual time that I get to work. So there's that. And I'm like so tired already, and I just like finished editing my vlog. I still need to do the thumbnail. It is currently uploading. Maybe it has finished uploading. Yeah, it has finished uploading. So I just need to do the thumbnail. Then I need to like wash my dishes, and I can go to sleep because I am so tired. It's definitely like very early for me to go to sleep, but I am exhausted. And like I said, I have to wake up earlier, like 1 hour earlier basically. So yeah, that does make a difference. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shut up. I definitely will finish Once a Villain. Hopefully I will have finished it by the next time I talk to you, which will be either like Friday night or Saturday during the day. But yeah, I will have finished this, and I hopefully will have started something else, probably a horror book. I'm feeling like I want to read horror. So yeah, that is that, and I will talk to you, like I said, either Friday or Saturday. Hello. So it is Saturday, almost 7 p.m. And if the lighting looks terrible, that's because it is. Not only because it's 7 p.m., but because there is a storm, like currently in Portugal. So, it's been very dark the whole day. And I mean, I wasn't home the whole day, which is why I'm only filming now, but it was like very dark since I woke up, and it has remained very dark throughout the whole day because it's very gloomy, it's like rainy, it's just, a storm. So yeah, and I have like a light shining on me, and still the lighting clearly sucks, but I'm working with what I've got, I guess. I sadly cannot control the weather. And yeah, so like I said, it's Saturday, and I have actually 2 books to tell you about because I continue to just be reading a lot this week. I haven't read anything yet today, but during the work week I read a lot. And so I finished Once a Villain, and I don't think I had finished it when I talked to you. Yeah, no, I hadn't, I think. So yeah, I finished that, and I actually really liked it. And like, I've seen a lot of reviews of people not really loving it, but like, I had a lot of fun. And like, I can definitely read like the bad reviews and understand why people didn't like it, but personally I had a lot of fun, and that's like what matters to me. So there were definitely a few things that were, very convenient that happened, but again, I had fun. And even with the romance, a lot of people like didn't like it, like the way that, because like things kind of shifted in this book, or they really shifted in this book, and a lot of people didn't like it. But again, I had fun. Like, do I think those characters realistically would work? Probably not. But surprisingly, shockingly, I, who don't even like romance, actually had fun. So again, that is what matters to me. I just rate books based on my enjoyment and not like how objectively good of a literary masterpiece it is. So yeah, I had a lot of fun actually, and I continue to be, very invested in the characters, in the plots, and like in their journeys. And I'm not sure I like absolutely loved the ending. I'm not 100% sure about that, but throughout most of the book, I was having a lot of fun. I was having a great time. So I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I'm still not entirely sure, but it will probably be 4 stars. And then I read We Used to Live Here, I think that's what it's called, which is a horror book. And like I've seen people, or like almost everyone that I follow has like loved that book. And I saw someone saying that it made them feel like crazy and paranoid, and that sounded exactly like what I wanted. So I decided to read that, and we were following Eve, I think, and Charlie, and they had like recently moved into a new house. And then one day, when Eve is like alone at the house, a family appears there. A family of like, there is like the father, the mother, and three kids. Yeah. And so the guy says that like he used to live there. That was like his childhood home. So he wanted to show his family like the house. And she at first is not very, she doesn't really want to let them in, but also she's like a people pleaser, so she ends up letting them in. And after that family starts, walking around the house, like weird things start happening. And not just like in the house, but like to Eve in general. I really liked it. It was so unsettling and like so like creepy, and also you never really knew what was real. And even like at the end, you don't fully like 100% know what happened. And I don't mind that. I know some people like want, a very closed ending with like, full explanation. And like in other kinds of books, like I do want that. Like obviously if I'm reading, a mystery, I want answers. But if I'm reading a horror book where I just want to be like scared and creeped out and unsettled, I don't mind if I don't really get the answers, because like what matters to me the most in a horror book is like the vibe. And I love the vibe. Like it was definitely the vibe that I wanted. And so yeah, I really liked it. I, have my own theory as to what really happened, but it's not really told to you. But yeah, it was really creepy. It was really unsettling in the best way possible. So I really liked it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna give it 4 or 4.5 stars, but either way, I had a great time. I really, really enjoyed it, and it definitely made me feel very unsettled and paranoid. So job well done. And yeah, I finished that last night, and like I said, today I haven't read anything yet. We were out the whole day, and I do want to start finally Catabases tonight. And I am so excited for this. I'm also very like nervous to start, because like my expectations are so high that I'm afraid you won't meet them. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that it will. Not only because I've loved everything that I've read from R.F. Kuang, but also because like the synopsis of this book sounds so cool that it just has to be good. I know that I'm gonna love it. And yeah, I think I am going to start it tonight, and I am so excited. And yeah, that's it. And I really want to go on a run, because next week I have a run, an actual like run event thing. So, and like last week I did not run. Last weekend I did not run because I didn't come here to my hometown, and I only run here because I don't like running where I live, because it's very like up and down hills and I don't like to run in that kind of terrain. So I only run here because it's very flat, honestly. And like I don't know actually the where we're gonna run next weekend. I don't know if it's flat or not. I have no idea. I haven't really looked it up. But either way, like it is what it is. But for my training, I don't like to run in those conditions. So I only run during the weekends. And last weekend I didn't come here, therefore I didn't run. So I haven't really run in like 2 weeks. But I really want to run this weekend, because if I don't, then when I get to the actual run, I wouldn't have run in 3 weeks. And that doesn't really sound like I would be very prepared, does it? It doesn't. So yeah, I really want to run. But also, like I said, it's very rainy, and I know that I can run in the rain, but do I want to? Not really. So I don't know if I'm gonna go, but like I should go. But also, like, I'm looking outside and the weather is kind of scary. And like I said, there's a storm. It's not just the rain, it's very windy. So, I'm gonna decide. But like, if I do go, I have to go soon, because it's like 7 p.m. It's gonna get darker really soon. So if I'm gonna go, I have to go like right now. So yeah, I am gonna take like 5 minutes to make my decision, and we'll see. But anyway, I will most likely start Catabasis tonight because, like I said, I am very excited. And yeah, tomorrow, like, I am probably gonna film my wrap up, even though it's not the end of the month. Like, tomorrow's gonna be the 28th. But like, I have all of my physical books that I've read here, and next weekend I'm not gonna be here because I have the run thingy, so I'm just gonna stay at my place and not come here. And so I won't have my books there, and I also don't want to be carrying around a bunch of books there just to film. But also I don't want to like not have the books with me and then just like add the cover when I'm editing, like if I do own the physical book, you know. So I think I will probably film here. I was like telling my mom my options, and she agreed that like the best option was to like film early while I have the books here, and then just like add a clip if I finish other books in the like other 2 or 3 days of the month. Like, the plan was to film everything today, but like I said, we were out of the house the whole day and the lighting now is atrocious. And yes, I am filming, but it's just like a couple minutes. A wrap-up is a very long video to have like this shitty lighting. So yeah, I'm hopefully gonna do that tomorrow, and hopefully the lighting will be a bit better. But yeah, that's it. And then I think I'm just gonna talk to you on Monday to wrap up this vlog. Okay, so it's Monday. I'm here to wrap up the vlog, and I actually started 2 books since I last told you, and I didn't get very far into either of them. So like, I did start Catabasis, like I think I said I would, or at least I said I wanted to. And so yeah, I read 3 chapters, I think. Yeah, I read 3 chapters. I got to page 50. So, you know, haven't read that much, but this is fantasy, and we are following Alice. Yeah, we're following Alice, and she is a grad student, and she, like, her supervisor basically dies like in a magical accident that was kind of sort of her fault, and she really wants to get like a letter of recommendation from him because that will really give her like the opportunities that she wants to succeed in the field of magic. And so she needs to get him back, and so she needs to go into hell and get him back from there. And when she's like preparing her ritual to get into hell, another student called Peter like finds her, and he like also wants to find that professor. So they both go to hell together, and they are, you know, gonna journey through hell to find their professor and get him back. Because also we learn that like if someone gets to the end of hell, they will probably like reincarnate soon. So they want to like make sure that they get him before he has a chance to reincarnate, because then like they will never find him again. So they are also like in a bit of a time crunch. And yeah, I mean, I'm only 50 pages in, so there's not much to say, but I'm definitely liking it. I'm definitely having a good time so far. And yeah, I mean, literally the last thing that I read was like when Alice was sort of trying to encourage Peter to get somewhere, because like honestly they're supposed to be like enemies, but they're not really enemying that much. But anyway, she's like encouraging him, and then at the end it says, you could do anything if you were delusional. So she literally said Delulu is the Salulu, and I think she's absolutely right. So yeah, 50 pages of this, I'm enjoying it, but haven't, you know, read enough to really have many opinions about it. And then I also started Sorrowland. I got 21% into it, so also not that much. And that is a horror book, and basically we're following Vern, and she is on the run from like the cult that she like was born in and like grew up in. And like as she's on the run, she actually gives birth to 2 babies. So you know, that definitely complicates the run, the escape. And also there's like someone hunting her in the woods, and like that's what I've gotten so far. So like again, not that much, but I am definitely intrigued about the whole situation and about like the cult, and also to see what the horror elements are going to be, because it says that it's horror and fantasy. So I'm assuming it's going to be like some supernatural stuff, and I'm really excited to see that. But again, for now, I don't really have that much to say other than I'm intrigued. And yeah, that is all that I have read since I last talked to you. And I think when I talked to you was Saturday that we had like the storm going on, and I did go on my run. I did get rained on, but like while I was running, it was not too bad at all. It was just like a few seconds of rain, like here and there. But then, like when I stopped like right next to a cat, and so I actually like went to pet the cat, and I was having a great time petting the cats, bonding with the cats, and then that's when it's really started to rain. So I rushed home, and actually my dad was getting home at the same time as me, so that was fun. And yeah, so I did go on my run. I did get rained on, but only because I stopped to pet a cat, and it was absolutely worth it. And yeah, that's what I did on Saturday, and that's when I started Catabases, indeed. And then on Sunday is when I started Sorrowland, and obviously I got back to my place. And yeah, honestly, I don't think I have that much to say. I also did film my wrap up, so that happened. I was able to do that. And yeah, so to wrap up what I read during this week. So I finished Once a Villain. I read The Art of Prophecy. I read We Used to Live Here, and I started Catabases and Sorrowland. Actually, I say Catabases because it's just how I'm used to saying it, because I decided that that's what it was supposed to sound like. But actually, like, I started listening to the audiobook and they say Catabases, I think. So I guess it's Catabases, and I'm just saying it wrong, which doesn't surprise me at all. But I forgot that I was saying it wrong, so I'm saying it again. But anyway, I read 1,379 pages, which is absolutely insane to me. I like very, very, very rarely read that much. So I'm extremely happy with that. And also I liked all of the books that I read, so it was an incredible successful week in terms of reading. And I'm still in a very big reading mood, so I will hopefully continue to read a lot like this week that is starting now. But that is everything for this weekly reading vlog. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!